Okay, so hi Yash, welcome on YourPedia platform and many congratulations for your selection in IOCL.
Thank you, Shubham.
Okay, so Yash, what was your first reaction once you saw कि ठीक है मेरा result out है मैं IOCL में select हो चुका हूँ. Were you expecting or it was like something unexpected?
Ma'am, this year, I went with a very good preparation. But when we saw the RTI, replies, we saw that there were very less vacancies this time. So, I was in a doubt that क्या होगा इस साल. But fortunately, like when I saw the results, I was very much satisfied and I felt very happy that day.
And same your family, right? They are very happy now.
Yes, ma'am. They are also very happy and. Yeah, this was a very a long gap actually. I was looking for it for a very long time.
Okay. So, Yash, we will be having a small introduction today. The basic purpose is to guide the future aspirants also who are preparing for IOCL. And you being the role model for them, you will be guiding out your preparation strategy, some of your questions, like what was the interview all about, कैसा इंटरव्यू था, क्या क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए, एचआर ज्यादा था, टेक्निकल ज्यादा था, ये सारा डिस्कस करेंगे हम आज डिस्कशन में, राइट? बट बिफोर दैट जस्ट गिव अ ब्रीफ बैकग्राउंड अबाउट यू. आपकी सिटी कौन सी है, आपका कॉलेज कौन सा था, आप बता दीजिए.
So ma'am, I am Yash and I belong to Udaipur, Rajasthan, and I did my graduation from IIT Gandhinagar in chemical engineering. And post that, I was working with Aarti Industries Limited for a period of about 1.5 years. Uh, and for I got into preparation for quite like around 1.5 years or so. And this time, like I got the result, and this is about a short brief about me.
ओके. कॉलेज कौन सा था आपका यश?
So, ma'am, I've done my graduation from IIT Gandhinagar actually. So here I've done in chemical engineering, and post that I was working with Aarti Industries, which is an industry located in Gujarat itself.
Okay. So what was your gate score this time?
Ma'am, my gate score was 708, and like this year, the chemical engineering paper was slightly on the lengthier side, so the cutoffs were also very low this time for gate qualification.
Okay. रैंक कितना था आपका 708 पे?
Ma'am, I got a rank of 90.
Okay. और आपकी कैटेगरी?
Ma'am, I belong to OBC non-creamy layer, and
Okay. Right. So what is the cutoff for the interview call? आपको पता है कितने cutoff पे आई है interview call?
yes, ma'am. This time the IOCL's cutoff for interview shortlisting was at 40 marks for OBC category, and also for general also it was around 40 marks.
Right. Okay. So you were working with Aarti Industries and you told that you had a gap of 1.5 years, right? So total gap
Yes,
कितना
ma'am.
था? कितना gap था यश?
So basically, ma'am, I graduated in 2020, and after that, 1.5 years I worked there. And 2021 October, I left the job. Basically, my motive was to join the defense services, so I was preparing for that. I got few interview calls through CDS exam also, and I appeared for Air Force and Army's interview. But unluckily, like that path didn't went the way I wanted it to be. So then I thought that I should again switch back to what my qualifications are. And I then decided that I will prepare for GATE. I gave around 6 months for the preparation. And luckily, I got a good rank. And yeah, it went the way I wanted it to.
So the defense aspirant moved towards PSU, like IOCL, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what was your success and failure rate? I would say that पहले कौन-कौन से एग्जाम्स क्रैक किए हैं आपने, कितने एग्जाम्स क्रैक किए थे और कितनों में आप क्यों नहीं क्वालिफाई कर पाए थे अभी तक?
Okay, so ma'am, like I have qualified from, if I begin from the 12th class, I have qualified JE Advanced, JE Mains. And after that, during the like college life also, I went for an internship abroad because my academics were decent. And after my job, with the job itself during the COVID, that I thought I would want to prepare for defense services. So I gave UPSC CDS examination.
Right.
So in that, I got the call for Air Force, and I appeared for the interview 2 times. And other than that, I've also given HPCL's exam. I got an interview call this year itself. I was associated with you from February itself. I prepared for the SPCL's interview also, but unfortunately, my marks in the paper were slightly less, so I didn't got into the merit. But I qualified the interview, and I also appeared for the medicals for HPCL also. So these were the few exams that I appeared, and interviews like I also went for BARC's NPCIL's interview also, and
Mhm.
IOCL was the last one.
Okay. So बात में
Yes.
इंटरव्यू में नहीं हो पाया था, right?
No, ma'am, it was very much technical, and with 6 months of preparation, I felt like it was not enough.
Okay, fine. So whenever you felt like you are not able to crack an exam, you felt demotivated. So what was the very first hack कि नहीं क्या करना चाहिए? कैसे अपने आप को motivate रखते थे यश?
So, ma'am, the motivation, I used to think that okay, failure है तो ठीक है, कोई problem नहीं है. Let's work out on the weak areas that I was facing every time. So whenever I used to go into a technical interview, I felt that my technical knowledge was not sufficient, and maybe I was preparing something which is not even required. So then I started watching YouTube videos. I watched YourPedia videos, and I watched the people who were already selected and what their journey was. So that gave
Hmm.
me a blueprint that I should be following, so that I'm not deviated from what is required for the interview. And eventually, like I felt that the YourPedia guidance was eventually it led me to the success because this guidance was missing for me. So
Right.
and being on this platform, I was always motivated because there were a lot of similar candidates like me who were also preparing. So I was automatically motivated.
Right. So यश, the very first thing it started with your GD and GTs, right? Center कौन सा था आपका यश?
Ma'am, I got for IOCL IIPM Gurgaon. So we were called on 2nd of September, and we had just 10 or 12 days to prepare. So there was a very less time this year to prepare for these interviews also.
Okay. तो GD का टॉपिक क्या था? पहले तो GD हुआ आपका, right?
Yes, ma'am. Like we went there first to document verification hua. Then we were called we were distributed. My first thing was personal interview. After that, I went for GD.
Okay.
So
So let's start
yes,
with PI only then. ठीक है? तो PI में
okay,
when you
ma'am.
once you entered, tell us everything. कितने panel mates थे, कितना time चला, and what was like more of HR or technical? क्या था?
Okay. So, ma'am, for PI, I was the third person to be called, and before me there were two candidates who were interviewed. So my interview went for around 12 to 15 minutes, and mostly the people were giving the interviews for this duration only. So when I entered the room, there was a panel of four members. There was one lady member. I'm sure she was a psychologist, and there were three other members also. The chairman was a male member, and as soon as I entered, the chairman, usually when we enter, the usual question is introduce yourself, tell me about yourself. So I had a blueprint prepared for that also. I practiced a lot. But there, they asked me that, okay, we don't want to know about what your introduction is, what you have done, what you have not done. Just
Okay.
tell us something that is not written in this
They are
paper,
CV.
and
Right.
which, yes, yes.
Okay.
So at that, so that was kind of a, मतलब थोड़ा confused हो गया मैं, how should I go and answer about this question. So what I did was, I rather than starting from my educational background, name and all, I eventually started from my hobbies. So
Right.
hobbies वाला जो section था, that I had also in the interview in the introduction. So I started from that. I told them that I like to play basketball, and I've played a lot of tournaments, and what other things I pursue in life, and this way I was able to justify that particular question that they had asked.
Okay. So what were the, it
Because
was
I think they,
HR or technical, Yash?
Ma'am, it was a mix of both. So this was the first question that was asked. Then the next question they asked me was, "What are you doing currently?" So I mentioned them that I was working as a JRF, and currently I was working on green hydrogen production. So eventually they started asking question related to that. This next question was technical. So they asked me "What are the different ways to produce hydrogen? And what is
Right.
the meaning of green hydrogen? And what are the other methods are available?"
Okay.
Then one more technical question was asked that if you are cooking something, where it will cook faster on like hilly areas or in the Mumbai. So it was a very easy question, but like they were checking my like way of answering that question.
Right. Okay. So कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन गैप पे क्वेश्चन आया कोई यश, जैसे यू हैड अ गैप आल्सो, यू वर यू लेफ्ट द जॉब इन बिटवीन, तो गैप पे कोई क्वेश्चन था?
Yes, ma'am. They didn't ask me the gap, but they told me that what were you doing after the job and when did you leave the last job. So they automatically figured out that there is a gap of around 1.5 2 years.
राइट.
So then they asked me, "अच्छा ये क्यों है gap?" So then I answered them that, "Sir, actually I was preparing for defense services and I wanted to join that." And I told them the truth that whatever went wrong and what went right. So from that they asked like, "Acha, so what do you think were your weak areas? Why were you not able to qualify that particular interview? And now how will you survive here?" And one of the panelists, other panelists asked me that, okay, if you are prepared, so tell me about the aircrafts, fighter aircrafts. So tell me three fighter aircrafts, what is their speed, which engine is used in them. So they eventually like asked me from that particular area also.
राइट. तो आईओसीएल के रिलेटेड जैसे कोई बैकग्राउंड, कोई वेबसाइट, कोई अंडर विच मिनिस्ट्री, ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन आया यश?
Definitely, ma'am. I think the module which was provided to us for the IOCL's document, it was very much helpful, and I had went through the IOCL website very thoroughly. So in between everything that I was speaking, I was using this particular data or information that I had read on the website. So
ओके.
when green hydrogen question came up, I eventually told them that IOCL is also one of the industry that is an energy sector, and it has tied up with Tata Motors to prepare buses. So I can also help out IOCL in transitioning this particular area. Then refining capacity also, like they asked me the one question, what is IOCL doing right and what is IOCL that is not doing right, which is not going their way.
राइट.
So what should they improve and what are the areas they should work upon? So there the numbers helped me out that it is going well, but the renewable energy sector is something that they should be exploring. And these were the certain like questions which were eventually like helping me out to answer the questions in a more precise way with the information that I had from the website and the document that you provided.
So Yash, tell me one thing that related to your work experience in RT industries or your job profile. Were there any kind of a past questions कि job के related कुछ questions या experience या कुछ challenges वहाँ के पूछे हो?
Not in my case, ma'am. They didn't ask me any question from my previous job. Uh, I don't know why, because I was expecting a question from that area also because I had worked in a chemical industry itself. But eventually, no question came from that particular area.
Okay, fine. And
Just
anything
one
that,
HR question
yeah.
was asked to me. One panelist, lady panelist was sitting, and she was psychologist. Definitely, I am assuming that. So she asked me that, how will you like? Are you comfortable traveling in different areas, and how will you cope up with the let's say you are transferred into some such location where the language is an issue and such things are an issue. How will you survive there? So I had practiced a lot with you also, such questions. These were the case studies that we had prepared. So I was able to comfortably answer these questions in a justifiable manner.
About relocation also and food barriers, language barriers they asked you, right? Okay. So
Yes,
any
ma'am.
of
Yes.
question answer which you could not answer, like I would say that किसी का आंसर बोला नहीं मैम मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा या पता नहीं है.
No, no, ma'am. Nothing like of that sort. Even if I was not able to answer, I was answering something and then saying that this is something that I know and there is something else that I don't know. So, matlab, diplomatically, I handled the questions so that I'm not completely blank on those questions.
Okay. And
So basically, the question like
Mhm.
the aircraft's speed was asked, and they were asking random aircrafts and their speed. So I told them that it is in this particular range. I don't know the exact speed of that aircraft. So
Okay.
this is the way I handle this.
Okay. So and any of the ticklish question like कई बच्चों से पूछा जा रहा था कि आईओसीएल तो बंद होने वाला है, ईवीज में ट्रांसफर हो रहा है, फ्यूल खत्म हो जाएगा, क्या करोगे तुम लोग, आईओसीएल प्राइवेटाइज होने वाला है, तो आपसे कोई ऐसा टिकलिश या सिचुएशनल क्वेश्चन पूछा?
Uh, Only the question related to IOCL was that only, ma'am, like what is IOCL doing right and what is it is doing wrong. But
Oh,
eventually, I used the information so much that at the end of it, they were telling me that तुम्हें IOCL के बारे में काफी कुछ पता है, मतलब you have read very thoroughly, so that's good. So that was the feedback that they gave me, and I thought like it was good enough.
ओके। सो एनी टेक्निकल के सब्जेक्ट से फर्स्ट आस्क्ड यू कि कौन सा आपका फेवरेट है या फिर आपने बताया उनको बिफोर दे स्टार्ट विद द टेक्निकल राउंड?
Uh, Not specifically, they didn't ask me any such favorite subject, but they asked me like, what is your topic of interest? So I told them like, mass transfer is the topic of interest, but no such question came from mass transfer. They asked from thermodynamics.
Okay. Right. So, and any other question which you remember and you would like to tell कि कोई miss हो गया या कोई question याद हो रहा हो?
Uh, as such, so ma'am, I don't remember any such question that was not asked because it was a short interview, 10 to 12 minutes, and most of the time I was answering the questions. They had asked mostly like five questions, I remember. So
Okay.
I like elaborated them and I tried to explain more and more so that they don't have to ask more.
So everyone was asking and making an eye contact, or it was like one person who was just observing something like that?
Yeah, ma'am, it happened. Like the lady member was just observing me. She was not making an eye contact, but she was observing my facial expressions. And the chairman also, he was trying to showcase that he's not interested and he's not liking the ongoing discussion. But the other two
Okay.
members were very much, they were showing that I'm doing well. But the
Before I
chairman at
move,
the end told me that.
yeah. Go ahead. What did the chairman say?
So the chairman, like when he at the end mentioned that you know very much about IOCL, that time I thought like he was at least listening to me.
Okay, fine. So you were maintaining like facial expressions, Yash, because you were very completely blank while in the terms of facial and you were not smiling in the simulation of the interviews. So at that time, were you making an eye contact and smiling and your facial expressions were good?
Yes, ma'am. This was one of the feedback that you had provided to me in almost every mock that I
Right.
gave. So
Uh-huh.
I tried to like keep it in mind. I was reminding myself that keep doing that, keep doing that. So I had practiced it a lot, and I was making the eye contact. I was also smiling, and I had a smiling face all
Because the
during
first
the whole
time
interview.
today when I'm interacting to Yash, he's actually smiling. Otherwise, he just have a robotic face and with a straight, long face. He always puts it. Right. So, any of the
Yes,
and
sir.
discussion on project internship also, Yash, or no discussion on it?
No discussion on it, ma'am. Actually,
Okay. So, how would you rate your overall experience in PI?
so, ma'am, in overall PI, I think it was good enough. I had obtained around, I guess, eight. My total interview marks were out of 15. It was 11.5 something.
Right.
So I think like the interview marks were slightly decent. They were good enough. So I think it went well. I tried to answer each and every question they asked. I didn't like bluff anywhere during the interview. And
Right.
yeah, these were the things that I get. It was good enough. Like I didn't feel that अच्छा नहीं हुआ ऐसा कुछ.
अच्छा, चल। तो टेंशन नहीं थी, नर्वसनेस कम थी, है ना? पीआई में।
Yes, yes.
ठीक है।
वो
चलो,
तो
तो
नाश्ता भी अच्छा दे दिया था उन्होंने तो like it was good enough.
फीडबैक से मोटिवेटेड हो गए। ठीक है।
Yes. वो तो मैम जिनका सेकंड हाफ में आ रहा था थोड़ा इंटरव्यू वो थोड़े टेंस थे बिकॉज दे वर ऑलरेडी नोइंग द क्वेश्चन एंड दे वर फीलिंग फ्राइटेंड कि यार ये सब पूछ रहे हैं ये सब पूछ रहे हैं तो मेरा तो जो तीसरे नंबर पे था सो आई वाज नॉट वेरी वरीड.
ठीक है। ओके। सो मुझे ये बताओ यश कि अब उसके बाद जीडी स्टार्ट हुआ आपका, राइट? तो जीडी में कितने लोग थे और टॉपिक क्या था आपका?
So, ma'am, after PI, we went for lunch, and after that, we were called for GD and GT. So, GD, GT, like they were continuous, they conducted simultaneously. First, it was GD, after that, it was GT. So, in GD, the topic of discussion, they gave us two topics. First was related to women empowerment, and the second one was related to that social development is not just the responsibility of government, it is also responsibility of corporates.
ओके।
So the whole group decided that we will go
वुमेन
ahead with the
एम्पावरमेंट।
second topic.
ओके, यू कुड नॉट गो फॉर
No,
वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट? आई थॉट यू वर बी गोइंग
no,
विद
ma'am,
द वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट टॉपिक।
because
ठीक है। कौन सा टॉपिक लिया आपने?
only like 8 लोग थे, so only 2 guys were telling that we should take women empowerment. Other 8 guys were telling that we should take social development. Because women empowerment was a slightly sensitive topic, so we thought that we should go ahead with a neutral topic as such.
And what were all the boys sitting in the GD?
Yes, ma'am. There were 2 lady members who were the SSS. Other than that, all of them were boys.
So I could not even expect that the boys should be choosing a topic which is related to the women empowerment and all that because they are never able to speak on it. Okay, chalo. No worries in that.
Yes.
And did you do the introduction or conclusion, Yash?
Yes, ma'am. I did the conclusion. So introduction mein to everyone was like कि हम ही करेंगे. But eventually when we were discussing and I had put a lot of points, so eventually I got the chance to conclude.
Right.
And so the conclusion was good enough, and in the topic was also decent. So we had a lot of points, but there were only 2 or 3 guys who were actually speaking. So I had to give a lot of points, and I had to deliberately ask them like, please give your points also, because this was the simulation we had already done during the mocks. So I was having that particular thing in mind, and I had practiced a lot of mocks. I think more than I think including HPCL and this IOCL, I have given around 50 marks, definitely.
Oh. Right. So 50 marks a good practice, I would say. और वहाँ पे Yash might be taking the charge कि आप बोलिए मैं तो बोल ही रहा हूँ, right?
Yes, ma'am. So that was the practice was the whole key, I think, for GD and GT.
ठीक है.
And eventually, like we went into CSR activities during the group discussion, and we were discussing about how other Tata and other companies have done social development. And after the particular GD was concluded, they gave us the topic for GT from our own GD's discussion only. So they observed that we are discussing on CSR activities. So they eventually asked, like, choose any 3 or 4 priority areas for CSR activities for IOCL, and
Okay.
how much budget would you allocate to it percentage wise?
Okay, right. So first tell me GD कितनी देर चला यश? 10 to 12 minutes?
GD हाँ मैम 10 to 12 minutes ही चला था.
और 8
थोड़ा
लोग थे
जल्दी खत्म हो
आपके
गया.
GD में, right? 8 people were there in your GD, right? अच्छा.
Yes, ma'am.
उसके बाद
8
you
people.
break, थोड़ा break होता है और उसके बाद GT started.
Yes, ma'am. मतलब break तो क्या ही था, like they were ready with the topic, and जैसे ही conclude हुआ, they eventually started the next topic. कि इस पे
Okay.
आपको discuss करना है for group task.
So your topic was 3 priority areas for the CSR कि आप क्या allocate करोगे for this IOCL organization only, right? और budget
Yes,
कितना
ma'am.
आप उसमें allocate करोगे, fine. तो उसमें intro
Yes, ma'am.
content क्या किया यश?
उसमें मैम इंट्रोडक्शन तो किसी और ने किया था, और कंक्लूजन भी किसी और ने किया था. उसमें मैंने नहीं किया because I had just concluded, so I thought like I should give some other person a chance. And all the introduction and conclusions were done by the 4 different people. So every other individual got a chance for that.
Right.
So, but during the discussion, like I was leading, and there was one more guy. We both were leading the discussion the whole time. So for GT also, like there were a lot of different points. There were some members who were not actually agreeing with the viewpoints of us, and थोड़ा सा like थोड़ा वो chaos तो हो ही जाता है. So conclusion इतना properly नहीं हो पाया था because they eventually asked that time is
Mutual
up and
agreement नहीं हुआ.
you should conclude now. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mutual agreement करते करते because 4 areas करने थे हम लोग, 3 तक में बहुत time ले लिए, and they eventually had to rush. It was a rush. So GT I think इतना अच्छा नहीं हुआ जितना मॉक्स में होता था.
GD अच्छा हो गया.
But yes, yes, GT अच्छा हो गया था.
Okay, fine. तो यश उसका भी same 10 to 12 minutes time strategy उतनी रही आपकी, right?
Same, ma'am, same. Yes.
Same time minutes. So 2 minutes to think about it, and then the discussion was there, right? The same thing. Okay.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
now, before I would go for the next question, I would like to know कि आपका ऐसे overall experience हुआ, and after your GD GTs, were you very much confident, Yash, that you are going to crack it out?
Yes, ma'am. I think I had this confidence that interview and GDGT अच्छा हो गया. Because I was also asking other guys like what the questions were they've asked, how were they able to answer it. and what
Right.
was their facial expressions, and also I gauged that that my interview went well.
Right.
बट आई वॉज नॉट श्योर दैट कितनी सीट्स आएगी इस बार, सो वो हमेशा एक डाउट मेरे के दिमाग में चल ही रहा था, सो थोड़ा डर तो मेरे को जब तक रिजल्ट नहीं आया तब तक था.
Okay. Okay. So yes, now I would like to know about your preparation strategy, like how the student or how any future aspirant, whosoever is targeting IOCL or any other PSA, I would say, the person needs to prepare. So just tell us about your preparation strategy first.
Okay, ma'am. So, if there is any competitive examination for chemical engineering graduates, then I would say that chemical engineering per se is not very much competitive, because if you see the number of candidates appearing every year, it has very less candidates who appear in a particular year. But if you compare it to mechanical, electrical, civil, there the competition is very tough. So I feel that for chemical engineers, it's very they can prepare it even if they do the PYQs, that would be very much sufficient. So what I
Right.
did was I had 6 months. So first of all, I had some of the topics which I didn't even study during the graduation. So I tried to first finish them. Then also there were a few topics which I had studied, but बहुत time हो गया था that I hadn't revised. So what I did was I started looking for study material, and I eventually started reading it. And I started practicing questions, though that was one of the main thing that I targeted, because PYQs mostly उठ के आ जाते हैं same to same. So
Mm-hmm.
PYQs were my main source of guidance, and जो भी उसके surrounding areas होते थे that I used to study.
Right.
So, if you are targeting HPCL's exam, so HPCL exam has two different sections. There is technical also, and there is aptitude also. So
Mm-hmm.
that is slightly easier to crack, but you have to see the PYQs, because sometimes they ask us technical questions which we don't even study. So
Right.
you have to observe the pattern that if there is a multiple choice question, so most of the time all of the above is correct answer. So people do that, and people try to attempt each and every question. They go like on a brute force कि जितने हो सके उतने अटेम्प्ट करके आ जाओ. बट आई वाज ऑन अ डिफरेंट स्ट्रेटजी कि यार जितना आता है उतने ही करना चाहिए.
Right.
So that eventually like backfired, because my marks in that particular exam were slightly lesser, because cutoff से 4-5 number ही ऊपर था. And I saw people having very high marks compared to me, almost like four marks lead in overall merit. So उतने में तो like सीट्स ही नहीं होती इतनी कि आप इतना कवर कर पाओ सिर्फ इंटरव्यू से. Then
Right.
interviews also for and then just speaking about IOCL also. So IOCL के लिए भी you have to give gate. So gate के लिए भी same strategy, but technical you have to practice more. And here I think 15 marks so you can easily get with just the part A of gate exam, which is aptitude or maths or ये सब होता है उसमें. Or technical part is that if you even do 50% of questions, I think you are good enough to get a good.
Hmm.
So just practice the PYQs. This is the one important thing which I did. And after that, for interviews preparation, what I did was I was looking out for a I asked few seniors also that how they had prepared, and
Hmm.
how the interviews go. So they told me that you should practice, because there are a lot of candidates who take coachings and all, and they practice a lot, and I thought like I should also do that. So
Right.
YourPedia was one of the coachings which I figured out, and it was a great experience for me. And actually, I practiced a lot on YourPedia from Feb itself, February this
Right.
year. So eventually, like I was in that particular mode कि I had done a lot of GTs for SPCL, और बहुत सारी case studies होती है mostly. तो uh, even in SPCL's interview, I got a GT which was from our practice sessions itself. So I had a lot of points which I could speak during that time also.
Okay.
So eventually, that particular preparation came handy to me, and those the investment that I made on Wikipedia was really helpful to me.
Right. So you say that either like practicing the PYQs, and yes, for the GDs and GTs and interview, practicing more and having the same simulation that actually helped you in your preparation strategy, right? So last but not the least,
Yes.
I would say, Yash, that what any kind of a message you would like to give to the students whoever is preparing for or who is ever a future aspirant of PSU like IOCL. So any message you would like to say at the end?
Sure, ma'am. So for all the future aspirants, I would just say that uh, first of all, you need to have a belief in yourself. When I started preparing, I could have either joined an industry, but I thought that I should give some time and maybe some better opportunity I can get if I had a belief this I had this belief in myself. So I thought that I should give 6 months at least, and then I'll see what I should do. So that was the first thing that I would recommend to everyone. Then, if you are in this particular journey for let's say 2 years or 3 years, then you should try to explore like opportunities like MTech or joining a job because I see a lot of people who are in this process for a very long time. So this particular gap here, it becomes a very hectic thing to cover up in the interviews. So if you can like 1 year is fine, 2 years is fine, but after that you should look out for opportunities. Then for preparation, I would say that YourPedia is the perfect platform if you are preparing for interviews. And if you need coaching, then take coaching for GATE also. Because there are people who say that we did self study and all. For me, it was comfortable, but for many of us who needs coaching, it's not a bad thing to take coaching. So
Right.
please take that also. So these were the three advices like I would like to give to others also.
So I would say, yes, you gave a very recent, in the brief time, you gave a very elaborative your discussions. Like every pointer was given by you, and I think that this interaction is going to really help the future students, whoever is preparing or whoever is a future aspirant, or be it any kind of a PSU, and particularly IOCL, we are talking about in this. So thank you for your time first, Yash, and it was a great discussion, I would say. And finally, I've seen Yash smiling, so I wish you that you smile ahead in the future also and wish you a very progressive promotional career. Okay. So thank you so much, Yash, and take care. Have a good day.